When we first got married, my husband's desire was insatiable. Later he said he was bored with me and was entangled with his pretty secretary. To get back at him I picked up a guy online, never imagining he'd turn out to be my gorgeous coworker. When we met, he almost took my life. My name is Serena. Lin Su and I had been a couple since college. We married soon after graduation. For childless years in, tests showed he had azoospermia. I still chose to stay, and to spare his pride we told everyone we were dink by choice. At first we were close, but once he launched his startup he was home less and less, and he hired a stunning secretary. The one night we finally had time together, he fell asleep during foreplay. I threw a fit. He played the martyr, claiming he was killing himself to give me a better life, and even offered to fire the girl. I felt a little ashamed. After that I backed him with everything I had, yet he came home later and later. On our anniversary he didn't show. When I called, little secretary Chloe answered with a syrupy voice. Then the line went dead. My stomach twisted. While I was drinking my anger away, a clip popped up on my phone, undeniable proof he and Chloe were sleeping together, and not for the first time. At the end she smirked straight at the camera as if daring me. I felt publicly slapped. Looking around, I was furious, indignant. To fund his dream I'd sunk my dowry and betrother's gifts into the company, juggling my day job and every chore. Growing haggard while Chloe glowed, I began to wonder if I'd lost my appeal. To prove I still had it, and to hurt him, I downloaded the hookup app. My colleague Zoe said the place was crawling with hot guys. Half the junior staff at the firm were on it. Tipsy, I changed into something skimpy and posted a story. Husband doesn't come home, am I the problem? Within a minute my inbox exploded with compliments. My sorrow evaporated, replaced by a wicked thrill. I was about to delete the post when an avatar stopped me, half a profile that looked exactly like Xavier, the swoon-worthy director at work. Maybe it was vanity. I opened his message. The physique he flaunted made me picture Xavier's, and after years of drought the resemblance alone ignited me. He sent a clip. My pulse spiked. I clicked, emboldened. The footage was grainy, but the back and forth felt real. He seemed to read me, embarrassed yet unable to stop. I leaned in, no longer caring what Lin Su thought. The hotter it got, the more my guard melted away. I wanted to taste the pleasure I'd forgotten. Then his screen went black for a few seconds. When it flickered back, the new image hit me like a slap. Shock gave way to reckless hunger. Xavier's face hovered in my mind. I marveled at my own boldness, but the urge was past the point of no return. After so much denial my body was hypersensitive. My head buzzed, and the man kept whispering. I woke the next morning with a raw throat. Lin Su had texted an apology. He had to fly out on business, but I couldn't care less. And Chloe, smug little Chloe, thought she was clever by unsending the clip. I'd already saved it. I was stone cold sober now. She was just Lin Su's toy. She had no idea what that moment of triumph would cost her. I took a few days off, hit the spa, shopped, and realized how much joy I'd forfeited for him. Between midnight sessions with the stranger, I hired a top-dollar attorney and started digging into Lin Su's books. Sure enough, he'd begun shifting our joint assets, using Chloe's identity. No wonder she strutted. Lin Su had sold her a fairy tale. He'd grown razor-sharp with numbers, and that money would never land in her pocket. It would become his scapegoat. Luckily my K investment had been inked in a proper agreement. Without it I'd have swallowed the loss in court. 3 years on, the company had sprouted 3 branch offices. Apart from the occasional anniversary gift, I hadn't seen a cent of profit share. By my math we were talking millions. The thought of soon being free, and compensated, made me smile. On my first day back I dressed sharp yet elegant, aura on full beam. I was about to greet Vince at the security booth when he blocked me. Hey, gorgeous. Never seen you. Outsiders sign in here. His leer traveled up and down my body. I froze. I'd never seen him this greasy. He'd once helped me move equipment. I'd even bought him water. I'd thought he was decent. As I reached for my badge someone bumped me. Icy liquid soaked my back and I pitched forward. Vince caught me, rough hands sliding to the small of my waist. I jerked away and met his oily grin. He actually leaned in to sniff my neck. Disgust flared. I slapped him hard. Pervert. I'll have you reported. Struggling, my collar tore. I clutched it shut. People heading for the elevator stopped to stare. Vince's face burned, eyes turning nasty, then lit up again as if struck by gold. Oh, it's you, Serena. Didn't recognize you, thought you were some sugar baby. My bad, my bad. His apology was paper thin. His eyes kept roaming. It was my first time hitting anyone, and in public. Fearing payback, I let it drop. What I didn't expect. The man who'd crashed into me was Xavier. I'm so sorry. I was glued to my phone and ruined your blouse. I'll pay for dry cleaning. A new one. Whatever. The moment I saw his face, flashes from last night detonated in my skull. Heat rushed to my cheeks. I caught a glimpse of his screen, still open on the hookup app. No way. Could last night's stranger actually be him? I couldn't stay. Ignoring his protests, I bolted into the elevator, coffee-stained silk clinging to my back. I spent the morning replaying the insanity at my desk. All day my gaze drifted toward Xavier's cubicle. Each time, he was already looking at me. I ducked like a thief, terrified he'd notice. The next second my phone pinged on the app. I recognized you. Serena. It's him. It has to be Xavier. I nearly yelped aloud, but what surged through me wasn't fear. It was exhilaration. A reckless plan sparked in my head. Just as I started typing, Lin Su called. Babe, why haven't you answered my texts? Mad again? That single word, again, lit my fuse. From the instant I learned he cheated, most of my love had curdled into revulsion. Hearing his voice now only churned my stomach. I'm busy. Spit it out. Vince sighed, irritation instantly coating his voice. You're just mad, aren't you? I told you the branch office is swamped and I can't leave. Little Chloe stays late with me every day and never whines. Is it that hard for my own wife to show some understanding? Have I ever shortchanged you or done you wrong? Listening to his sermon, I was so dumbfounded I almost laughed. In the past I'd spoiled him rotten and rarely showed a sour face, because I thought we'd grow old together. Instead, my tolerance only puffed him up. Now that he's no longer the one, there's no need to swallow one more insult. I'm not mad. You're the one who keeps yapping. Since Vince has so much free time, why not wire me my profit share? Business is booming, yet your investor hasn't seen a single dollar. Kinda hard to justify, don't you think? At that, Vince lost his nerve and changed the subject. Stop this. Babe, I know you're just venting. I had Chloe send your anniversary gift to the firm. I'll be home for dinner tonight. I hung up with a loud slap. Who wants your lousy present? Before I finished swearing, Chloe's call lit up the screen. A plan flashed through my mind. I quietly asked Zoe to film, then hit speaker. You want to flaunt? I'll give you the stage. Sis, you're not still mad about last night, right? Vince and I were only playing a game, just a little risque. If you can't take a joke, the other CEOs will laugh at him. A wife shouldn't be so petty. Chloe's shrill voice filled the office. Colleagues pricked up their ears. I hemmed and hawed, forcing a stammer that looked like heartbreak. Seeing me cornered, Chloe piled it on. I was wasted last night, and Vince insisted on taking care of me the whole time, wouldn't leave no matter how I shoot him. Oh, and he said the necklace suits me better since you're getting on in years. I tried it on, accidentally chipped it, and Vince said you wouldn't mind, right? I shot to my feet, tears already cracking my voice. Chloe, I know you're young and pretty, but I truly feel for you, working all day, then giving yourself to my husband as his release valve. It's my fault. I can't satisfy him, and that's turned you into this. Keep the necklace as the bonus I owe you on his behalf. I broke into loud sobs. Chloe hadn't expected the counterpunch and shrieked, livid, Serena, who the hell are you calling a whore? Vince said even if you stripped and twisted into a pretzel he'd stay limp. For years and no baby, of course you can't keep your man. I'll spell it out. Once I'm pregnant, he'll divorce you. That nearly made me burst out laughing. Chloe had no clue she'd been strung along for 3 years by a man who couldn't father a child. And I'd protected Vince's pride all this time, only for him to trample my dignity in public. Swallowing my rage, I hugged the phone and apologized profusely. Sorry, Chloe, I didn't know you were the freebie type, arg. Before I finished, she screamed like a kettle. I ended the call, crouched on the floor and sobbed theatrically while zipping the clip to Vince. Zoe flashed me a covert thumbs up for the flawless performance. Coworkers rushed to comfort me. Xavier led the pack. Don't be scared, that mistress is out of line. It's my fault, bringing you bad luck first thing this morning. I gazed at him through wet lashes. Xavier couldn't help stroking my hair, his eyes full of apology and something gentler. My heart pounded as if we were sneaking a forbidden kiss. I was already hooked on the thrill. I realized a little demon had moved into my heart, whether it was lust or vanity. Looking at Xavier's handsome face sent shivers through me, and wicked ideas popped up again. But staccato heels clacked on the stairs, accompanied by Vince's shouts. Hey, lady, you can't barge in like that. Vince's phone buzzed non-stop. The show wasn't over. Old hag, keep pretending. What do you have left to fight me? Chloe stormed in and hurled the gift box straight at my head. I squeezed my eyes shut, but no pain came, only a warm, solid chest pressed to my forehead as a soft grunt sounded above me. Xavier had shielded me completely. The women in the office couldn't sit still. They wouldn't let the firm's only hunk get hurt, and they liked me well enough. Eye-opener. I've seen wives beat mistresses. Never the mistress storming in to claim her man. You've got a legal marriage certificate. What drama are you staging, bitch? Exactly. She waltzes in and hits our director. We all saw it. We all heard it. She just branded herself the homewrecker. Call the cops. Some people slave all day and still get ridden all night. So tragic. Daily office life is frustrating enough. Here was a live punching bag. Several colleagues roasted Chloe until words failed her, and plenty of phones recorded every second. Her eyes rimmed red. She glared at me, trembling with rage. And right on cue, Vince arrived. Before the legal wife could complain, Chloe dove into Vince's arms, scarlet lips pouting, tears streaming until his heart cracked. Vince, I only came to give sis her gift, but because I tried the necklace on, she ganged up with everyone, called me shameless, said I was some kind of, she left the last two words hanging, and of course Vince's mind filled them in. He glowered at me, severing whatever bond we had left. Serena, how did you become like this? Where's the woman I knew? You're the one who insisted on keeping Chloe. Without her the firm wouldn't be where it is. Part of the money you spend is hers. Without her, a washed-up wife like you could never be the boss lady. What a greasy hound faking devotion, spraying crap whenever he likes, confronting me in public so fast. Just what Chloe needed. She thought victory was in her pocket and kept fanning the flames. Vince, I've swallowed insults for so long, are you going to keep letting them humiliate me? The things they said were vile. I've lost my reputation. I might as well die. Chloe lunged toward the railing, but Vince yanked her back. The two carried on more dramatically than a soap opera. I wiped my tears, pulled a lab report from my bag, and flung it to the floor with a trembling hand. Lin Su, I'm pregnant. If you insist on divorce, I'll agree. Those words struck him dumb. Chloe froze too. She crawled over, picked up the lab report, and stared in disbelief. Lin Su didn't even glance at the paper. He pointed straight at me and snarled, "Bitch, you dare cuckold me. Whose kid is it?" I bit my lip, tears streaming. Lin Su, if you're a man, don't say such filth. There's never been anyone but you. The baby is yours. But I clearly, silence stretched for several seconds. Lin Su's face turned crimson. Those words too shameful to voice. People around us began murmuring. He almost got exposed on the spot. In fury, he raised a hand to hit me, looking at his distorted face. He felt like a stranger. Luckily, by then I had won the crowd. Still call yourself a man. You let your wife be bullied and side with the mistress. For years Serena's first stop after work is the kitchen. No weekends of her own. She bankrolled your startups and still swallowed your moods. Men like this can't be indulged. He'd rather believe some tramp's brat than trust his own wife. What's he thinking? Maybe he's shooting blanks himself? Voices rose in chorus. Lin Su's face kept darkening. After all, that secret cut to the core of his manhood. Then Chloe's phone rang at the worst moment. She answered it dully, eyes empty, not grasping a word, until the voice on the line finished. Her gaze leapt from bewilderment to rage. I never booked anything. What hospital is this? What did you say? Azoospermia? Gasps rippled through the room. Lin Su went paper white. 100 curious stares pinned him like daggers. Last night, I'd used his ID for an online consult, but I left Chloe's number. The timing was perfect. Watching him flounder, grief and glee sparred inside me. Grief not for him, but for the woman I'd once been. Chloe was sobbing, clutching him, screaming, Lin Su, you lied to me. I wasted 3 years on you. Every time you pushed me into some man's bed for a deal, promising me the world, and all along you're useless. The sting of her words knocked the fight out of him. He snapped and slapped her. Exactly then the police rushed in. The place was packed shoulder to shoulder. My lawyer arrived moments later. Had Chloe not forced the pace, I wouldn't have confronted him so soon. Good thing I'd kept that fake ultrasound. For weeks I shuttled between the precinct and the law office. Lin Su couldn't have scaled that fast without the tricks, bribes, cons, even Chloe's body as currency. I never had much proof. It all came spilling from her once she lost hope. I promised her legal help, and she told everything, even when he dropped to his knees. Tears soaking my shoes. I only felt more disgust. That marriage was a stain on my life. After signing the divorce decree and hearing his sentence, I finally exhaled in relief. I had caused upheaval at the firm, so I resigned and took a break. Yet Xavier's attention never wavered. Messages on WhatsApp, on the hookup app. I laughed. The sweet talk stayed on WhatsApp. The racy stuff on the app. Our first night in the new place. I opened the app. Lines of longing filled the screen, plus Jim's selfies. Reading them stirred something in me. I reached the tower after 8. Hallways were dim, figures scarce. A cold wind whipped by, reminding me of Joya's warning about drifters assaulting women nearby. Uneasy yet impatient for the parcel, I hurried inside. The lobby was lit. The security booth steps away. Collecting my package should be quick. I slipped into the elevator and pressed the button. The corridor sensor light snapped off. Just before the door slid shut, clack, Dark fingers slammed it open. Startled, I clutched my coat. The door reopened. Vince, flashlight in hand, offering a sheepish smile about his rounds. I shot him a curt reply. As we ascended, he fell silent, his gaze icing over. Recalling his earlier groping, I inched away. He smirked, checked the camera with disdain, and adjusted his belt in the mirror. The elevator car was roomy, yet he edged closer. No button pressed for himself. When I asked, he teased back. Alarm bells rang, payback for the slap I'd given him. Fear prickled. I fumbled for Xavier's number. No answer, then pinged him on the app for help. A ping sounded beside me. Vince pulled out his phone. I sent another test message. His stayed quiet. Relief. I marveled that he even used an app at his age. I glanced at the ceiling. No red light on the camera. He noticed too. I'll catch the pervert, he muttered. I forced a laugh. He began typing. The app showed Xavier's ID typing back, and I heard him swear under his breath. He turned, breath hot on my face. Gooseflesh rose as my mind raced. Was the man on the app Vince? His thumbs kept drumming. Each second crawled. Mercifully, the floor approached. Xavier messaged, "Wait in the restroom." The door opened. I rushed out, grabbed my parcel, and locked myself inside. Xavier kept updating his location, asking if I'd changed. I hadn't. Terror still locked my limbs. Unable to bear his disappointment, I scrambled into the clothes. They were bolder than last time, hugging every curve. A slight twist risked exposure, yet the thrill was undeniable. As I studied myself in the mirror, click. The lock turned. I nearly lost my balance. Then a knock. Thank heavens, it was Xavier. "I'm here. Come out. I can't wait to see you wearing that." I hesitated, puzzled. There were only the two of us here right now. So why wasn't Xavier saying anything out loud? Why was he typing at the door? To be safe, I stayed silent too, and sent a message instead. "Xavier, is that you?" A notification pinged outside. "It's me. Open up. Why won't you talk? I want to be sure it's you before I unlock." The knocking stopped. "Since when are you scared of me? I'm here to protect you. Open the door," stringing me along. "Huh, if you don't open, I'm leaving." "Open. I swear to God. Open the damn door. Open." Xavier's tone slid from irritated to furious. By the end, he was robotically repeating the same word. My suspicion deepened. Fear ate at my reason like hundreds of ants. Then my phone rang as Xavier. I answered with shaking fingers. "Serena, is something urgent?" "I was in the shower." "Why are you at the firm this late? That area isn't safe after dark." "Want me to come get you?" Every caring syllable sank into my ears. Yet I stared at the door, frozen, because outside was dead silent, but through the gap I could see a shifting shadow. The next second the door exploded. Boom. Ah! I couldn't hold the terror back any longer and screamed. Boom. Xavier on the line snapped upright. "What's happening? Serena, are you still at the office? Who's there?" I was hyperventilating. Words tangled. "Help me. Xavier, come to the firm. Call the cops. Vince is outside the restroom." "What?" "Hide first. Don't confront him." Exposed. Vince dropped the act. Laughing maniacally, he pounded the door. "Come out. Weren't you waiting for this? We're on the RD floor, planning to jump." "Don't be stupid." I forced myself calm, yanked on my jacket, but there was no other exit. Only two windows without ledges. Thinking that the man I'd flirted with and bared my soul to had been Vince all along, that he'd seen my most private places, revulsion surged again. And I remembered the details Joya had mentioned. The vagrant knew this building inside out, always dodged cameras. Even after reports there'd been no solid proof. No wonder they couldn't catch him. Looks like the psycho was probably Vince. His threats battered me. With no way out, I could only stall. "You heard me, Vince. I've called the police. They're almost here. You haven't committed a crime yet. You can still stop." My plea only excited him, threatening me. "I recorded every second of your self-defense back then. Want to go viral?" I'd forgotten. Humiliation flooded back. My silence fed his glee. He even produced a hatchet from somewhere and hacked the door. Boom. Cracks webbed across the wood. I stumbled backward, but his madness ignited mine. "You're crazy." "I'm crazier." I glanced left. The wall was thick there, the sink right next to it. I grabbed a mop, climbed up. That blind spot would buy me 2 seconds. Swallowing nausea, I cooed. "Actually, we could try it." After all, the hatchet froze. His laugh turned lewd. "See, you women, just open up nice and easy. I'll make sure you enjoy it, then toss the hatchet. If you hurt me I'll tense up and neither of us will have fun." Convinced by my thoughtfulness, he let the weapon thud to the floor. I kept my word and slowly twisted the lock. Impatient, he kicked the door in. The instant his head appeared, I swung the mop with everything I had, smacking his forehead. Caught off guard, he crashed onto his back. In that moment, limitless strength surged through me. I leapt down, one thought blazing: fight back. I struck 3-4 times, but my hands were shaking and the blows weren't enough to keep him down. He seized the mop and yanked. I toppled onto him. A purple knot rose on his forehead, sweat covering the grin that looked even more grotesque. In a blink he pinned me, slapping me twice. Numbness eclipsed pain. My vision blurred, yet terror and fury made me struggle. With one hand he was fumbling with his belt, so he couldn't hold me steady. I drove my knee up. His face twisted. He rolled aside. A sickening crack. His head struck the hatchet blade, blood pooling fast. Urgent footsteps thundered closer. Serena. The world spun. A shrill ringing filled my ears. Even when Xavier pulled me into his arms, I couldn't stop shaking. Tears gushed unchecked. I watched Vince loaded into the ambulance, scarlet soaking the paramedic's coat. The following days slid by in a fog. Without Joya and Xavier beside me, I couldn't have slept. The investigation revealed Vince had been preying for months, using his job. He learned victim schedules, pried into private lives, even accessed security feeds. Spotting a target, he'd swipe photos, pose as a hot guy online, lure them in, studying every app we used. Impossible to guard against. I joined the other women to appeal. We wouldn't let him walk. In mere months, I became a regular at the courthouse and the precinct. After the lesson with Lin Su, I'd sworn no man would fool me again, yet desire had clouded me. Worse, both predators had been people I knew. Long therapy later, I could finally talk to others. Xavier, after learning everything, didn't back off. He chased me harder. I blocked him, grateful as I was for his rescue. Who could say he had no hidden agenda? After all, he still keeps that hookup app on his phone.